What's going on, everybody? Ken Hotep back at it again. One in the chat if you can hear me. One in the chat if you can hear me. Pulling a little double duty right now. I'm about to head to somewhere in Pennsylvania. I gotta go pick up a boat. So I just got off my regular 9 to 5. Got a call from my pops. It was like, hey, got a dude want a boat picked up out PA, trying to make a few dollars. I'm like, you daggone right. Shoot, you gotta get as much of the bag as possible in Joe Biden's America, boy. So me and my son, we about to make that trip real quick. Like I said, one in the chat if y'all can hear me. One in the chat if y'all can hear me. I appreciate you guys stopping through. Yeah, I'm heading out PA, yo, somewhere in PA. And I mean, what's going on, Synergy Strength? I love catch up. What's up, Protocol? So I'm gonna get straight to it. Another shooting, man. Another shooting, but this time it's in Nashville, PA. You got a 28-year-old. What they said was a 28-year-old female who shot 3 adults and 3 9-year-old children. You know, immediately when I heard that, I was thinking about what Jay was talking about this the year, the doubles. You know what I mean? Shit real ironic, real crazy. You know, real crazy. They showed a picture of the girl, you know, at a glance, you know, I don't know, but at a glance, you know, looked to be a part of the, you know, the LGBTQ community. At a glance, looked maybe trans, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. However, I know what this person did was horrendous. What this person did was horrible. What this person did is beyond reproach and should have had their lights turned out. You know what I mean? It's sad, you know, that we turn around again and we got more children, you know, laid down the rest from some psycho. Because make no mistake, people that do shit like this, they psychos, y'all. They just straight psycho. You know what I mean? Now you know how the left like to spin it. They're gonna wanna you know, blame the guns, blame the guns, blame the guns. You know, you see it all over Twitter and social media. The reason why this happened is because everybody has guns. The reason why this happened is because everybody has guns. Right? That's what they saying. And I don't think that's the case, right? It's not because everybody has guns, because there's some people that's just fucking nuts. You know what I mean? Because some people out here are crazy, you know. But we gotta protect our kids, man. What's up, Cam? Cam in the building. Let me see what y'all saying. They said it was a transformer. Cam said if a Christian shot up a trans school, it would be bedlam. You right? I ain't drinking no water in PA. Apparently, Emmanuel, to let you know, apparently, allegedly, from what I've been hearing is that they transported that shit down here to Maryland. They transported some of the wastewater. They transported here to Maryland today to one of our water treatment plants. So I'm like, oh, here we go. Like, why you had to go all the way from there to Baltimore? Like, what was up with that? Anyway, I digress. So let me do this, y'all, because y'all ain't gonna be able to see me too good. Y'all might be all right for right now. Guys, we gotta protect our children. We gotta protect our children by any means necessary. By any means necessary. Now, anybody with common sense, you know, beyond a doorknob, would know that you can ban guns all you want. You can pass legislation all you want to ban guns. You can pass legislation to ban the AR-15s and assault-style pistols and rifles. You can place all of this legislation, right? place all of this legislation, right? But it's not going to stop these crazies from getting their hands on a gun, from creating some bomb, or using some motor vehicle to do what they want to do. You know what I mean? The best thing you can do to protect our children at school is to fight fire with fire. Period. Now you got some people pointing to Uvalde, right? You got people pointing to Uvalde, um, saying, "Well, those police officers failed to protect those children," and they did. They did fail to protect those children, right? However, I would like to think they're the exception and not the rule, right? I would like to think they're the exception and not the rule. I'll point you here to Baltimore City. Let's go ahead and do this now. Y'all can't see me. Let y'all see the road. I'll point y'all here to Baltimore City, right? How many times y'all heard of a school shooting, a mass shooting in Baltimore City's public schools? I ain't talking about the city. I'm talking about the Baltimore City public schools. How many times y'all heard of a mass shooting in Baltimore City public schools? Never. You know why? Because Baltimore City public schools have safeguards in place to prevent all of that shit. You know what their safeguards are? Their safeguards are, for one, kids gotta wear clear backpacks to school. That's number one. Two, Baltimore City public schools got metal detectors. Three, at any given time, Baltimore City public schools got 3 Baltimore City police officers there. Period. They got 3 Baltimore City police officers there at any given time. But when people make that leap to say, "Hey, we need to do this. We need to put metal detectors in our schools. We need to have armed guards at the schools. We need armed guards at the schools. We need metal detectors, right?" What they say, our children shouldn't have to see that when they go to school. Our children shouldn't have to be uh, 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 tortured by that when they go to school and all this other bullshit, right? But see, Baltimore City public schools ain't the only people that do that. Y'all can ask Jabari. Ask Jabari. There's a school here right now, Pikesville, Maryland, right? It's a Jewish school. Jewish school. You pull up to that Jewish school, guess what you at the guard shack. You at the guard shack as soon as you pull up to the school, and that guard is strapped down. That guard is strapped down, and you ain't getting in that school. You gotta get past the armed guard just to get you gotta get past the armed guard just to get to the driveway. I don't know. Was it no, they said it was the school was what, K through 6? I think the school was K through 6. So it wasn't a student. Who knows? I know they said. I think they said the kid was it wasn't even a student. He was 28 years old. Maybe it was faculty. Was it faculty? I don't know. But like I said, you got Baltimore City Public Schools are a perfect example of keeping gun violence out of the school. Now, once they get out of school, I mean, it's all up there. You know what I mean? Like I said, the Jewish community, their school, the Jewish community schools, like I said, armed guards, wrought iron fencing, right, all around the school perimeter. When you pull up to the school, you got an armed guard meeting you, making sure you got if either you got a kid that go there, or you got an appointment to be there. If you ain't got a kid or an appointment, you can't get in. Even with my son's school, they got that joint locked down. My son had an accident one day. What's going on, Lisa D? My son had an accident one day. I had to go up there and take him some clothes. And I'm the dad. They ain't even let me in the school. The teacher leaned her head out the door, grabbed the bag, said, "Thank you," shut that door on me like I was DoorDash. I felt a little offended, but then I was like, you know what? I'm cool because you know why? That keeps my kids safe. Not to mention there's a police officer on site at the school as well. Right? Now, see, here in Baltimore, Baltimore County, Baltimore City, our school resource officers are Baltimore City and Baltimore County police officers. Right? So they're officers who actually do patrol, but they might be stationed at the school now because you know what I mean. Either they got some tenure and that's where they at or whatever. You know what I mean. Like one of my cousins, he's an SRO or a school resource officer, but he a legit Baltimore County police officer who's been on patrol, who's been been in the streets. You know what I mean. He just because he got some tenure now he a school resource officer. That's where he want his tour of duty to be. But there's nothing wrong with that. But what we got to get away from, and we got to push back on, is that there's better ways to protect our children other than, well, let's take the guns away from, the law-abiding. So let's take the guns away from everybody so we can protect our children. You'll never get all of those guns. And if you think that the criminals are going to turn their guns in, you're an idiot. If you think that these criminals are going to give up their guns, you're an idiot. I say it all the time. You don't see these criminals going to fill out a 7743R, a Nick's background check to go buy a rifle. And the funny part is, if this person had a rifle, right? They said it was two rifles and a handgun. I never understood why these shootings, right? The person brings two rifles and a shotgun, or I'm just like, why are you bringing so many guns? That's what makes it seem suspect to me when they do stuff like that. It's almost like somebody's putting them up to it. You know what I mean? Now I'm interested to see how this goes. I'm interested to see if you know there's some legs in the in the media now that we find out that this person's possibly, you know, quote unquote, on the right side of things. You know what I mean? One in the chat if y'all can still hear me. One in the chat if y'all can still hear me. You know, but we got to stop blaming that tool. Criminals ain't turning that shit in. But then, like I said, if she had two rifles and a handgun, more than likely they passed the background check. They passed that federal background check because the Knicks background check is a federal background check. Yeah, I know, right? I hate this tunnel too, yo. And this is the worst of them. This is the Harbor Tunnel. This ain't the Fort McHenry. This is the Harbor. I hate the Harbor Tunnel. Anyway, but more than likely, they passed all the background checks to get these guns. So you go snatch all the guns, and then all this shit still happens. These shootings still happen. What then? What then? Now you going door to door? Now you going door to door? That's what's next. The shit is sad what happened to these kids, man. But to sit here and think that a no gun zone sign and taking guns from law-abiding citizens is going to stop this shit from happening. The only way this is going to get nipped in the butt, the only way this shit going to get killed, get squashed, the only way this shit gets stopped is that you fight fire with fire. You have good, upstanding officers who are willing to put their life on the line to take one of these what my man T Electric say, one of these savages out. A good guy with a gun, bad guy with a gun. Period. Full stop. That's how that works. Good guy with a gun, bad guy with a gun. Good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun. Period. Period. The first thing I see on Twitter, I see white person again. Da, 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 da. Like, good Lord in the morning. Just never mind protecting these kids. Like I said, guys, I'm gonna keep it short right here. Like I said, Baltimore City, right? We got some. We got some of the worst gun crime in the United States, right? But guess what? You ain't never seen on TV. You never seen a mass shooting in Baltimore City public schools. You never heard of a mass shooting in Baltimore County public schools. You know why? Because despite the culture around here, they got the right safeguards in place to stop a threat like that. And for the left and for Democrats and all these people to say that that's a moot point or that's invalid or that's not a viable option, it's just intellectually lazy and dishonest. I'm gonna just say it like that. It is both intellectually lazy and dishonest. You treat our public schools like the Jews treat their learning centers. You treat our public schools like the city, like Baltimore City. Treat our public schools. I guarantee this should have stopped. I guarantee this should have stopped. I know Chicago got some of the worst gun crimes in the United States, but I ain't never heard. I don't think I've heard about a mass shooting happening in the Chicago public school. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. These people on the road is annoying, bro. It is annoying. I'm just saying. Anyway, I just want to get on here and give y'all my 2 cents on this whole situation. Me and my son, we headed to Pennsylvania. We gonna go get this boat. We're gonna bring it back to Baltimore, and then we going home go to sleep. So, needless to say, because I gotta go get this boat, gotta chase this bag. No Cannon Speaks episode tonight. We were supposed to have Jonah Ryan on tonight, but I'm gonna go get this money. So we're gonna be back tomorrow on Jay and Cannon tomorrow at 9 p.m. We're gonna have Jonah on. We're gonna be talking about the Proud Boy situation. We probably touch on this situation a little more, and whatever else come up in the news. But I'm gonna say this is that my prayers, my thoughts and my prayers go out to those children, the victims, and the family of the victims. Man, I hope they find peace. I hope they find justice. I think the person might have took their life, or the police officers took their person's life, turned their lights out. Um, anyway, none of this should have ever happened. Period. It should never happen. And no, banning guns don't stop it. Banning guns don't stop it. What stops it is when that person breached the halls or breached that door, or before that person breached that door, they got a few hot rounds on their ass. Let them know they ain't welcome. That's how you stop that. The minute they walk up on that door, they get met. They get met with a few hot shells. Lay that ass down. We had one incident like that happen in like the eastern shore of Maryland. I forgot where it was. I think it was like Queen Anne's County, I think. Easton, somewhere Easton, on the eastern shore, it's called Easton, Maryland, where somebody tried to walk up in the school with a gun. School resource officer laid his ass down before he even got to the door. It wasn't a story, y'all didn't hear about it because nothing happened. Person tried to walk into school. Officer saw the person trying to walk into school. Person had a gun. Officer had a gun. Officer laid his ass down. That's how it should be happening, guys. That's how you protect our children. We're in a violent world. We live in a violent world. Yeah, in a perfect world, if you could magically fucking Thanos snap all the guns away, it would stop gun violence. But it wouldn't stop murder. It wouldn't stop homicides, suicides. It wouldn't stop none of that. You know why? Because if people got murder on their mind, if people got homicide on their mind, if people got just want to do harm or cause chaos or wreak havoc, they gonna figure that shit out. They don't need a gun to do that shit. Like I said, the Boston Marathon, they did that shit with pressure cookers. The Boston Marathon, they did that shit with pressure cookers, guys. They ain't use no gun. They use some shit you can get from fucking Walmart. They use some shit you can get from Walmart. If somebody got murder on their mind, they're gonna figure it out. Period. So when they talking about we gotta take guns, we gotta have gun reform. When you hear Moms Demand Action come out, you hear David Hogg's goofy ass start tweeting. I'm sure we're gonna get some shit from Joe Nicholslick tomorrow talking about we gotta do it now. Somebody has an empty chair at the dinner table and all this other shit. He started trying to tug on heartstrings. Not to mention, right? Kind of odd that the ATF is under fire by the courts right now for their unlawful, unconstitutional NFA act, the NFA laws. Kind of find it really interesting that the ATF gotta come before Congress in April. I think like next week. I think it's next week. And now all of a sudden we have some shit like this happen. Right now the ATF getting their ass handed to them about their NFA. Looking like it's real unconstitutional, then NFA might go by the wayside. Now all of a sudden you have something like this happen. It's kind of odd the timing of a lot of this stuff where uh, you see this stuff happen, right? But then when you look at legislation, you look what they got on the House floor, some kind of gun bill, whether it's pro-gun was anti-gun, is always some kind of gun bill on the what's up, Jabari? On the floor when some shit like this happened. Right now, the ATF is getting their asses handed to them in the courts right now over their NFA law and over that pistol brace law that they're trying to pass. Well, they not pass, but they're trying to enact unconstitutionally. They supposed to then go to court next week. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's next week. Not court, but to Congress and answer for the bullshit they trying to pull on us gun owners. All of a sudden this week this shit happened. Like I said, Jay been calling it. He called it the year of the doubles. 28-year-old kills 3 adults, 3 children. All 3 children were 9 years old. It's sad. It's sad. And they'll use it to push their agenda. Never let a good crisis go to waste, right? They'll use the names of those children. They'll use the names of those fallen children to push their agenda. I just hope that Republicans don't back down and cower down like they usually do. Forgive me, y'all, for not reading y'all chats. It's kind of tough. I got a 24-foot trailer. It's dark out here and stuff like that. So I apologize, y'all, but I'll check it out later. But they'll use it. Never let a good crisis go to waste, right? You did what they say. My guns ain't never got jumped off the wall or jumped out of the safe and walked down the street and start wreaking havoc. The person holding the gun gives it its purpose. The gun is just a tool. That's all it is. All right. Anything can be an assault weapon. So when you hear all these assault rifles, anything can be an assault weapon. I said it before. I said I can crack you over the head with a broomstick. That broomstick is now an assault weapon. More people die from blunt force trauma than they do rifles. You want to get real statistical, more people die by the hands of a handgun than they do rifles and shotguns. They don't ever want to talk about that. Virginia Tech was carried out by two handguns. Two handguns. But like I said, you'll see Joe Nicholslick. He'll come out tomorrow, give some kind of statement. He'll condemn all gun owners as a whole again. It was kind of interesting that Uvalde was trending, a couple of days ago. That was real interesting to me. When I saw that Uvalde was trending a couple of days ago, I started wondering if some shit was about to go down. So I seen David Hogg tweeting again. I'm like, damn, what's about to happen? You know what I mean? You want to say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody.
Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
So like I said, I got my little road dog with me right now. Got my little road dog with me. And we headed up 95, so anyway, I'm going to let him listen to some music or watch some YouTube or something like that. Make sure y'all join tomorrow, Jay and Cannon, 9 p.m. tomorrow night on the Cannon Hotep YouTube channel and on the Cannon Hotep Rumble channel. Also, go over to Hotep TV on Rumble and subscribe to Hotep TV on Rumble. That's usually where my Monday and my Thursday show be at. So anyway, guys, pray for the families and the victims, guys. I'm sure they can use it. And don't give up your 2A. The minute we give up our right to keep and bear arms, you might as well throw the whole Constitution in the trash. Anyway, Cannon Hotep saying be blessed, stay strapped, and don't miss. I'll holler at y'all.